I think out of one of us, your phone tends to go off more than mine.
Well, mine's always on silent, but it always vibrates.
Yours is on silent but deadly?
Yes.
Fart jokes.
Fart jokes.
Yeah. I started talking fart jokes, and now I don't even know where I was going with it. Oh, okay. Yeah, like yours tends to go off more than mine. But, like, if we were going to do the jail cell, like, tally marks, like, I feel like you would have more days served.
Probably.
Than I would. Mine's always thing, but it, like, lights up.
Well, so mine is always... My phone is almost always on vibrate.
Right.
Or on silent mode. But the silent mode vibrates.
Gotcha.
And so that's why it makes a noise, but it's not like...
Detrimental noises.
It's complicated.
It doesn't shut down production.
Right.
I had turned my cell phone up the other day just because, like, couldn't hear it.
Turn it up.
And then somebody called, and it shut things down. I think I was in the store, and everybody in the store could hear my phone ringing. Like, It was that loud. And I'm like, hey, guys.
Yeah.
It's me.
Well, because for most of the day, and people, I tell them that I keep my phone on silent all the time.
Right.
But a good 80% of the day, I have my earbuds in.
Right.
So it rings in my ear.
Right. I was like,
it just doesn't.
You need to be very
out
specific.
of the phone. Like people are just like, oh, you don't pay attention to your phone.
Well, I think we were having a conversation during our business meeting the other day that we were kind of talking about phone calls, like at weird times. Mm-hmm. You and I both come from high demand job, like where people are trying to get a hold of you at
stupid hours.
Ridiculous stupid hours. I used to be called out at 2-3 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
And so now no one's trying to get a hold of me at 2 or 3 in the morning. Like,
right. And if they are, I guarantee they don't need to.
Right. They can call 911.
Right.
Right. If it's that, or they can wait. Nothing's happening.
It used to be people would call 911 and then 911 would call you.
Right. That's exactly why I would get called. Right. But I'm talking now that I'm no longer doing that.
Right.
That listen, I'll respond at 8.
Yeah.
Like, or something.
Well, that's a conversation that I have.
Setting the expectations.
Yeah. I would say a large portion of our current careers is simply managing expectations for people.
Right.
There's the knowledge and there's the negotiation skills and there's the organization skills that we need. But
right.
Most of what we do involves simply managing expectations for people.
Right.
And so that is a conversation that I have with new clients during our first meeting.
Right.
After this time of day, I'm probably not going to answer my phone for you.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things where, like, because I have it on silent until,
Yeah.
Actually, this morning it was like, oh, I realized I still had it on silent. But it was one of those, like, they can text me all they want to and everything. It's on silent, but I'll respond
in the morning.
In the morning when I'm 8 o'clock, then I'll go, okay, cool. Hey,
it's time to go.
There you go.
Yeah, my phone has this really cool setting where it goes I tell it to automatically go into do not disturb mode at a certain time of night.
Yeah. And I still text you.
And sometimes I don't text you back until the morning because I don't even know you texted me.
Right.
Because my phone's on do not disturb.
I get it. But I think I messaged you like through Facebook or something. I'm like, I saw you up. Like, it had the green light, like...
Which is odd because so on my phone, I get notifications from 1, 2, 3 apps.
Right.
4.
Okay.
4 total apps on my phone.
Right.
My text messages, the phone part, my email, and then...
like I said, the phone part.
The phone. The thing where people actually call you.
Right.
And then one other business app I allow to give me notifications.
Right.
So my Facebook Messenger notifications are always off.
Right.
My Facebook app notifications are always off.
Right.
So because I found that it was too distracting.
Right.
So I said, don't bother me anymore. And it's been great. I did that almost 6 months ago.
Okay.
I think. And it was super, it's been
I think
super
I have mine
beneficial.
off. I don't have them alert.
I don't get the little red bubbles.
I think I still get the red bubbles, but I don't get the it doesn't go off.
Yeah. So I turned all of that off.
Yeah.
And so what was funny is you sent me a text to ask me
to text
if you could text me, essentially.
Well, because it was one of those that, yeah. I did. Well,
I found it funny. I didn't call out the irony at the moment because there was a thing that you needed to discuss.
No, I messaged you to see if I could text.
Yeah, it's a text.
I know.
A text is a text. You sent me a text message in one.
Yeah,
one app to ask if you could send me a text message in another app.
No, I know, but I was trying to be respectful of your thing.
And it's all good
because we are both family men.
Yes, we are.
And I feel like you and I do a pretty good job of just being like, hey, I know you're in the middle of something.
Right.
So I'm not going to... I called you yesterday because I couldn't text you.
Right. Well,
we have that relationship. So it's just like...
And the difference between our two families, the most striking difference, because sometimes you'll text me at a certain time of day, and then I won't get back to you for a little while.
Right.
And that is because our families eat dinner at drastically different times.
I'm an old man.
You guys get the early bird special every single day.
Not necessarily. Sometimes it's later for us, but it'd still be early for you.
Right. We eat dinner usually around, right around 6 o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys are...
I'm done with dessert by then.
Yeah, you guys are long past...
No, listen, it's not normally that, but it's usually around 5 or 6. But sometimes depending, we're hungry earlier. Yeah. We'll eat.
Let's do this bad boy at 4:30 in the afternoon.
Listen, I will firmly say I've had the early bird special at Red Lobster before, and just going, listen, there's a lot of other old people here.
Exactly.
I will firmly just be like,
and so you'll text me at 6:30. Which to you, dinner's long over.
Right.
But we're right in the middle of it. And I'm like,
which makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's...
Because we're normal when you're old.
Yeah, but you
are over 40, and I am not.
I'm not over 40.
You were over 40 the day after your 40th birthday.
I was like, listen, I am 40. You can't say I'm over 40.
You are more than 40 years old.
Listen, in July, I will be over 40. I will agree with you at that time.
You're still over 40 right now.
It's getting into
and I'm still under
semantics.
40.
What did we say that we had a argument the other day? Not even an argument, conversation between my wife and I that I was like, hey guys, I can't believe this.
Oh, and you lost?
And
the one that you lost?
But I didn't lose.
You did lose.
I didn't lose because everybody's wrong.
No, they're not.
You're doing a post right now, right?
No. I'm going to
look it up.
Your Honor, I submit the following.
So I'm gonna Deadpool break the fourth wall here for just a half a second and just go.
Right.
The conversation was, what is the first day of the week?
Right.
You're trying to say that there's two separate things. The week consists of 7 days.
Correct. The last one of them is Sunday.
No. The beginning day is Sunday. Sunday is the beginning of the week.
Nobody dreads Sunday. Nobody.
I understand.
Nobody has a case of the Sundays.
Oh my God! I'm so starting it.
No one has that. Okay. Monday is the beginning of the week.
The work week.
It's the beginning
which is
of
why
the
everyone
week.
Why everyone dreads it is because it's the beginning of the work week. But
Saturday and Sunday are the weekend. Therefore, they can't be the beginning of the week. Served.
It's in the name, week, and it's
it's the end of the week. It is the end of the week. Shayla,
listen, I genuinely don't care.
You're right.
No, I genuinely don't care
to
the point but I do.
You're salty. No. You're salty about it right now. I can tell.
I'm salty.
You're salty about
it's the end of. the end of Tucker and the Beard right now.
Just because you can't admit you were wrong.
No, I'm just saying, like, depending on how you look at it, there's just different ways of looking at it, I guess, as I'm saying. So you're not wrong and I'm not wrong. I'm not sitting there telling you, like, in the way that you're looking. I'm just saying, like, by certain definitions, Sunday is the beginning of the week.
By the wrong definitions, yes.
Just because it's not yours doesn't mean it's wrong. I'm speaking to the whole world right now. Mm-hmm. Just because it's
Weigh
not...
in the comments, people.
Just because it's not your opinion doesn't mean it's wrong.
Okay. But
I'm just...
You wrong, though.
I'm not... GTS. What did it say?
Shayla.
What did it say?
Shayla.
What did it say?
You were right.
By the way, speaking of my beautiful wife, Shayla.
You are correct in this. In some circles and in some
that's all I'm saying.
societies, yes, the Jewish people, for example, the end of their week is Saturday. That's their Sabbath, Shabbat. That's
right.
The end of the week, and Sunday is the beginning of the week. You are correct when you look at a calendar.
Yeah.
Sunday is the furthest to the left.
Yeah.
So I'll concede that.
Right. And
however,
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Nobody has a case of the Sundays.
But I am going to start that. The hashtag case of the Sundays.
Nobody has a case of the Sundays.
I'm going to start that.
Okay.
But yeah, speaking of my beautiful wife, Shayla, we do need to address the elephant in the room, which...
How dare you?
Tends to be me, I guess.
I'm just kidding.
In comparison, because I posted a very lovely picture of my wife and I.
Oh, that elephant! Yeah, the one where people
again,
thought
talking
you kidnapped
about me.
your wife.
Yes, and you did a joking thing of blink twice
if you're being held against your will.
Right. And so many, like, I reacted to it.
Right.
For multiple reasons. A, it was funny.
It was.
B, I wanted other people to know that I knew that it was funny. Like, I gave it
I think
permission
you should
to
have
be a
angry
joke.
reacted to it just to make people want to be like, wow,
just to see.
That killing guy's a real prick.
Yeah, like, what the hell's wrong with him?
Right.
You know? Well, and I've had that happen before where people have, like, reacted like, that's not funny. You know, whatever. But, like, so there's multiple reasons. It was funny. That is first and foremost. I think I texted you right after that saying, I literally LOL'd.
Yes.
Which I enjoy saying.
Well, I saw your name pop. I posted that comment. And then moments later, I see a text from you. I'm like, oh, maybe. Usually he's not. Usually he's okay with this.
Right.
You know? So, like, I hope I didn't actually cross a line.
No.
Because...
Yeah. No, you did not. So, but it's genuinely funny. But I think it was, you know, a good 24 hours later where I gave a second glance at it. And you had a lot of reactions to your...
Right.
To the comments. People had joined me in reacting. There was a couple laughing.
Right.
But what was concerning there was more, like, thumbs up.
Okay.
Like, and it instantly made me just go, have people for years been looking at my wife and I?
Right.
Like, do they think that you're leading the resistance right now? And you just said what everybody has been thinking for years. Where it's like a Beauty and the Beast situation. I've got her in the East Wing. She's not allowed in the West Wing.
But you've got a nice library.
I have a nice library. Like, but she's not allowed to leave. Which is not the case.
Okay.
Don't say it like you don't believe me right now. I will.
Sorry.
No, but it was just kind of like, Like, a lot of people are like, yeah, seriously. Like, people that didn't like my picture liked your thing. Like,
right.
Thank God he finally said something.
Said it.
Somebody in the know. Like, if anybody would know,
well,
it would be you.
So I am currently scrolling through your photos.
Okay.
like right now.
Creeper.
I know. So, and it's just that your wife has a face
She's got her picture face.
that she makes in every photo.
She needs
For the
it.
most part.
That's what I was like. She could be a model. She would just have that blue steel.
Yeah, that's her blue steel.
Right.
But there's the slightest in
Bit
her
of help me.
eyes. There's a slight bit of concern
Okay.
in her eyes.
Gotcha.
In this,
Like she's screaming, "Help me!"
right? But she
Okay.
knows she's not allowed to,
All right.
or else it gets the hose again.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But no, it was just one of those things of like addressing, and just going, listen. I make jokes about my appearance. I hope I
And
genuinely
so do I.
don't. Yeah. I don't know. But hopefully it's not to the extent of people are genuinely like,
Oh, there's
It's a
one
whole-
photo where she's not making her picture face, and it's your cover photo, where she's screaming on Splash Mountain.
yeah, it's pretty great. It's a great photo.
So,
I'm pretty proud of that one. I don't know if I can nail it yet. I've tried to do other things, but they've showed genuine distaste.
like actual terror.
Yeah. Listen, that photo, as funny as it is to me, and maybe like we'll post it or something like that so people can see what we're talking about. But I ruined that photo for the other people on that log ride. Like, we were walking behind them to go up. Like, they put it on the big screen so everybody can see their photo before they buy it.
Right.
Like, that family that was also in the
Right.
we were walking behind them and I heard them just be like, oh, and walk away. Like the displeasure in that I had ruined that photo for them made it like slightly.
I mean, it's really pretty wonderful.
It
I
is,
mean,
yeah.
Now that I'm looking at the entire photo,
Right.
Not the cropped down version.
Right, because they are. That's the extra funny part in it, is because like I look at them and I go, yeah.
Sorry, dude.
Sorry. Sorry. It's been
You realize that they're gonna have to wait in line another 4 hours to try
Right.
and get that shot again.
right. And if they see me around the park, they're probably gonna give me the dirty look.
Yeah.
Like, that's that guy.
It's a really funny picture.
Yeah. So yes, she didn't make her photo face in that one, but
No. But yeah,
it's been a
sorry.
really long intro on this one.
It is.
I was going off on I went all over the place on
other
this
things.
one. I'm done now. You can talk for the rest of the time.
Okay.
Just joking. Hi, everybody.
Buckle up.
I shouldn't have given you that permission.
You're like, what shall we talk about today?
Been waiting years for this moment.
Here, if you would just move aside, and I'm going to put the camera where you are, and I'm going to talk directly to the
Straight
people
to-
for the rest of the episode.
Back up. I realize I'm still on frame. I'm just like
Probably.
it's still
Yeah, you're still in frame.
yeah. We got some big things coming up, but I guess
do.
we're almost done with Friday. This coming Friday is the last
It's the last
Episode of-
episode.
WandaVision.
Yeah.
Then what are we going to talk about?
We'll find something.
No, well, the
then
cool
it's
thing,
only like a 2-week gap, and then
we
we've
have-
got Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
which I'm super excited, but I'm warning everybody now. It's going to be on a different wavelength.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think people genuinely have
That's
to
going to be more classic Marvel, I think.
Yeah. And then Loki will get back into the magic,
Right.
supernatural stuff. I don't know if I'm mentally prepared yet for Loki show. Because it's just, I
Yeah.
had to explain it to somebody, and it was like, it's a headache even trying to explain.
Right.
And I don't know the general consensus of where he's going and what he's doing. But
Here's what I'm worried about, though. Here's what concerns me a bit. And it goes into WandaVision as well. But fan service is great. You gotta throw some stuff in there for the true believers. You know?
well played.
And I feel that's really important for a franchise.
Mm-hmm.
I think WandaVision is almost stretching that to a point where if you're not a super fan, you're not going to get this stuff.
Right. And I think they need to stay on this side of the fence.
I do too.
Because I've already had to research.
Yeah, you've had to do a lot of Googling.
A lot of Google machine for trying to figure out certain things.
Right.
And then I think I was telling you yesterday, like, I almost feel stupid because some of the things that happen in WandaVision are like page for page shots
out of some books,
out of some storylines, and I'm like, well, had I known,
right?
I'm sitting here with my dunce cap on, not knowing what's coming, and everybody's like, yeah, see this? This is this exact storyline.
Yeah, and so for me, the Scarlet Witch is not a book that I'm familiar with.
Right. Same here.
And you know, and
I know
it is what it is.
I know of them. I don't know specifics.
Right. But and so I too have spent some time just researching the character, and then that's where I stumbled upon this character of Agatha.
Right.
You know, was through just reading through some of that stuff.
Right.
But I mean, how many movies?
So I was like, let's see. I guess spoiler alert to anybody that doesn't know, but yes, the Agnes character was revealed to be Agatha Harkness, who's been a character since like what, the 70s?
Something like that, yeah.
So, and was first introduced in the Fantastic Four comic books, which excited me because I was like, this could be it. This could be the start of Fantastic Four, how it should be. But they haven't. Listen, we have one episode left.
That's going to have this major cameo.
Right. This last week's episode was darker.
Very.
It was darker, and it was the first episode without an intro. We're no longer in the TV world. It's all Marvel.
Yeah, now it's all Marvel now.
But there was no intro. There was no commercial.
No.
There was nothing like that. It was started out.
But we did. So it was like last week there was an intro.
Mm-hmm.
Was there a commercial last week?
Yeah, I think so.
Was it?
Yeah, it was the prescription drug.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
But then they snuck in a post-credit scene, which they hadn't done previously in the series. And then this week it was just all Marvel. Just straight into the action, so to speak. No TV, no commercial, and they dropped another post-credit scene.
And this one was bigger than the last one. Just for the fact, like, it was a little teaser kind of Marvel thing showing Monica with the powers and Quicksilver confronting her. Right. I'm going to say my one displeasure, and I think that I talked about it before, that I hope that they didn't do this thing, and they did this thing. They had, I don't know if you know where I'm going with this, but they had introduced like the multiverse.
Right.
It was happening. We had this Quicksilver that's come over, and they freaking did it again. Like, and it goes back to like the last Spider-Man movie, Far From Home. They start talking about the multiverse. And you're like, oh my God, it's happening. It's happening. And then they go, no.
Just kidding.
No, he's faking it.
It's like the guy with the dollar bill on the vision. Almost got it. Almost got it.
Right. And so you
gotta be faster than that.
And so this time they were really like, it didn't happen last time, but it's happening this time.
No, it didn't.
And it didn't. They changed it up once again.
Yeah.
And made it, well, that's not who it is.
Right.
It was,
and that was
Agatha all along that she, and it was just kind of deflating. I think that they'll pull out of this, you know.
Right. Well, I mean, Agatha obviously discovered a little bit about
right. So big things.
Our heroine.
Big things happened in this episode. It was very kind of backstory as far as Agatha was concerned.
Right.
She's really old.
And
she's
really powerful.
Very, very powerful. But we got the name. Like, the end of this episode was a huge thing. Like, I was freaking out in my house, and my whole family's looking at me like
you're a crazy person.
What's the big deal? But we heard Scarlet Witch.
Right.
And I'm just like, oh my God, they said it.
Yeah. Like, they actually said the name.
And, my family's like, but she's always been like the Scarlet Witch. That's who she is. And I go, but she hasn't.
Yeah.
Like, she's just been Wanda.
Yeah.
Like, she's never been actually, like, from the comics.
They've never used the name.
The Scarlet Witch.
The Scarlet Witch.
So I just jumped right to the end of the episode, didn't I? But, like, it was just a huge, like, but not huge bomb that got dropped as far, but, like.
But, again, the first time, we've known since Age of Ultron that this is her character.
Right, who she was.
Her character is the Scarlet Witch.
Right.
We've known that the whole time, but they've never called her that.
Right. She's just been Wanda Maximoff.
Yeah.
But this one did some real Christmas Carol. Like, if we're going to... Like, I was watching it and I go, what does this remind me of? Because every episode reminds me of something.
Right.
This one just reminded me of the Christmas Carol.
This is an Avengers Christmas Carol.
That's because it was Agatha taking her through her past.
When we find out her connection with these old classic television shows.
And it instantly light bulb moment.
So you go, okay, well, that's what's going on here.
Right. And her war-torn, her first thing is through her parents when she's a little girl, and it's this wars going on outside, and that's what they did as a family, was sit down and watch these American sitcoms.
Well, her dad selling bootlegs of them.
Right.
Yeah.
And so he brought them home, and they would watch them. Her favorite of which was Dick Van Dyke.
Right.
Yeah, or whatever. And so that was episode 1. Yeah. So it was kind of cool.
Well, it was cool if you paid attention to that briefcase, though. You saw all of the inspirations in there. Everything from Dick Van Dyke to Malcolm in the Middle.
Right.
You saw everything in there, and that was really cool.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. And then it went to after Age of Ultron, after Pietro had died, and it showed a nice moment of her and Vision connecting.
Right.
But she was watching Malcolm in the Middle on TV. Or no, I'm sorry, backing up. Then it showed her being experimented on.
Yes.
Which was a huge revelation.
Yeah.
That she was always a witch.
And she just didn't know.
She didn't know that, and backing up a little bit more with the bomb being dropped and her parents being killed, but she was able to save her and her brother. And Stark, and we heard this story in Age of Ultron that they sat there for 2 days with this bomb.
Staring at Tony's name.
Right. Stark Industries, which is why they hated him.
Right.
Which, I don't know if you noticed, but the red light going off, did you notice that was from the very first commercial?
Yeah.
The toaster.
Yes.
And it had that red light. I was like, hey, that's the toaster.
Well, and going even deeper down this crazy rabbit hole. And this is just how good they are at continuity. Okay? If you remember, I want to say it was Iron Man 2.
Okay.
They talk about Sokovian rebels stealing shipments of Stark Industry weapons.
Nice.
And so, because remember in Age of Ultron, he's like, yeah, it's not what I meant to happen. You know? That wasn't intended. I didn't sell that to them.
Right.
It's because in Iron Man 2,
they had stolen.
Good for them. I mean, if my memory serves, I remember them talking about rebels ending up in Sokovian rebels ending up with Stark Industries weapons that he didn't sell to them.
Right. Well, you can go back to
maybe it was even Iron Man 1.
I was like, Iron Man 1, he stopped.
Right.
Because he saw when he got kidnapped that people were ending up with these terrorists were ending up with his weapons.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's never been That's never been the game plan. So, like, no, I'm not. So, like, no, I'm not building weapons anymore.
Yeah.
Whatever. So it goes back all the way to Iron Man 1. Iron Man 1. So even in, Age of Ultron, when she's told that story, you knew it wasn't
actually
his fault.
Him selling it to him. But
right.
It all ties together.
Right. It's all ties together. And it's one of those things as far as, like, Age of Ultron has now become a better movie.
Because of this show.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But, yeah, like, you do that. So you find out that she was able to survive that bomb. The bomb never went off. And then also the experiment on her. Everyone else had died.
Correct.
And she was able to survive because she's always been a witch. This just accelerated it and made her...
The experiments that they did on her, just
made her...
amplified her powers, too.
Right. So you find out that, and then you get the nice taste of, her and Vision, and, it's just going through these sad moments.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, Agatha goes, hey, it all makes sense. You are... Like, there's a prophecy.
Right.
That it's been...
Well, because you go back to the first scene of the show, of this episode.
Right.
And, it's Salem in, 1693.
Right.
And at first it leads you to believe that, like, the townsfolk are dragging Agatha...
Right.
In, to be burned at the stake.
Right.
But it wasn't the townsfolk.
Right.
It was the other witches.
Of her coven.
Yeah. And she was standing accused of stealing powers beyond her station.
Right. Her age and station. That she was essentially looking into dark.
She was doing bad magic that she wasn't supposed to be doing.
Right.
And so she was on trial for that instead of simply just being a witch.
Right.
And her punishment was...
Which was a cool kind of twist on it. Because like you said, I thought the same thing. I was like, oh, she's getting
burned at the stake.
She's getting burned at the stake. Happen. Yeah.
But then, so they're all attacking her.
Right.
And they have these blue beams of magic light, essentially. Mm-hmm. And then it's kind of... It was very Harry Potter-esque to me.
Right.
In Harry's battles with Voldemort. Mm-hmm. Especially the last one where... their beams of magic collide.
Right.
And eventually Harry's... Spoiler alert. Eventually Harry's magic overcomes Voldemort's magic.
Yeah.
So the...
Don't say his name.
I am not afraid. Okay? But you got this red...
so heated.
Fear of a name only increases the fear of the thing itself. Anyway, you had that same sort of thing happen here where her magic starts overtaking these other witches' magic and turning the beams purple.
Right.
And so the different colors there kind of gave you a hint that she was more powerful, even though she didn't really know it. She said she couldn't control it. She couldn't. She wasn't trying to, but it's just a thing that was happening.
Right.
And so it led you to believe that her power was different from their power in some kind of way.
Right.
So, and the difference here is that, she drained them like a Capri Sun. It was,
they were raisins.
Yeah. It was like that scene in
Cocoon.
I was thinking of Raiders, but...
Oh, yeah, very much so.
When the guy drinks out of the wrong cup.
Less screaming and...
melting.
Melting. But it's still a Disney show, but it was...
Right.
But it was darker for that reason. And I thought one of the cool things, so she was never part of Wanda's production.
No.
So she was drawn to the amount of magic. Different... Right. The multitude of different spells.
It hasn't been Agatha all along.
No. And the question...
In that aspect.
Question that I'm proposing to you and to all of our listeners or whatever is the same thing of Thanos. is she wrong? Is she bad? Is she a villain?
Okay, so
she's doing bad things.
And here's where she is not a villain, but Thanos was.
Right, I just wanted to, because even my kid's watching it and she's like, what was she?
This is, I think a lot of it is spontaneous and it is grief born.
Right.
So we know that she goes and retrieves the body of the Vision.
No.
Well,
no.
She breaks. Yeah. She breaks in to steal. Excuse me, the body of the Vision, and then.
No, dude.
Yes.
Did we watch the same episode?
Uh-huh. And she walks full on into the thing, and then sees what they're doing, and it kind of cut off.
Well, no. Okay, so that's part of it. So the I don't know his name, but the director of S.W.O.R.D.
Of S.W.O.R.D., yeah.
Early episodes is like she broke in and she stole
She
his
didn't
body.
break in and actually steal it. She broke in she wanted his body. That was her husband.
Yes. Okay.
She walks in. She's like, I want his body. That's my husband.
She wanted to bury him. Right. But yeah, she does this whole thing and then finds out. He's like, no, that's $3 billion worth of
tech
of vibranium.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like, I can't let you just
bury it
because you have the power to bring him back. And she's like, no, I don't. Like, I wouldn't do that or whatever.
Yeah.
And ends up walking out. So she never actually stole.
Right. She went to retrieve his body, but never
because it's her and she wanted to bury him and whatever.
Put it to rest. Yeah.
Dude, but heartbreaking.
Very.
Of why she ends up in Westview.
Yes.
So us as real estate agents could kind of get a little bit more out of this, but he bought her a house.
Yeah.
For them to grow old in. Which I don't know how he could grow old, but what?
For her semantics. To grow old and him to be there for the process.
Right. It's a whole Twilight situation.
Right. Eventually he'll be out of date.
I was like, there's a whole lot
software updates will cease.
Right, like
like the company's going to stop the support at eventually.
Right, like C-3PO just be like, I'm going to shut off for a little bit. Like,
yeah.
Whatever. But he bought them a plot of land, I guess.
Yeah.
Looked like a little bit foundation had been laid. Yeah.
It was a new build.
It was a new build. But yeah, she showed up and she had the deed that he had left and little message on it for us to grow old in, and that's why it she spontaneously magic combusted.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I have been thinking the whole time was that this was just a bout of grief that exploded out of her.
Right, she was very sad. Well, and kind of leading up, driving through the town, dude, how depressing was this town?
Yeah, it was a real crapple.
Like, it's not great.
No.
Like, so in a sense, I'm like, it's better now? Like, her version is cleaner.
Right. Vast improvements.
People are happy.
Right.
Like,
they're in constant pain and misery, but they're happy.
Right, but they were before?
No, but they're now in physical, actual anguish, though.
Yes, this is true. I'm not saying it's a good... I'm saying the town itself looks better.
On the surface, it appears better.
It appears better because she's driving through and it's like places are boarded up.
Yeah.
People look miserable. Yeah. And it's all... You see all the characters that have been guest characters on the show.
Reminds her of her old Eastern Bloc communist living.
Right. So, yeah. So she
sorry, communist listeners again.
Sorry, Sokovia.
I told you, we've got listeners in Russia now.
No, I know. I can say sorry, Sokovia, and it's a little bit more specific to the city that doesn't
communism
exist.
Sucks.
Fair enough. Agreed. I'm just, yeah. But yeah, she kind of spontaneously combusts, and there is Westview, her version.
Yeah. And even when we saw the expansion a couple episodes ago, again, it's more out of grief and self-preservation at a certain point.
Right.
You know, so she's still very... She's in the anger stage of the grieving process.
Mm-hmm. But and she just got unsnapped.
Right.
So she's all looking around going, hey, where's Where's Vision? Where's all this stuff? And it's new information. But then it ended with Agatha having her kids, which I still think are big.
They're still in play.
One way or another, it's going to be a big deal. If they are erased from existence, it's going to be a big deal.
Right.
If they are still existing after this, it's going to be a big deal. So either way, but
correct.
Agatha had them kind of tied up with magic harnesses. I don't know. Kind of holding them and just saying, you are the creature of legend, of prophecy, that she can create realities with magic, without even thinking. And so pretty much she wants to kill her or something because she's too dangerous. So
we shall see.
And then the after credit was huge, because a version, it's revealed that Sword had, the reason they were taking him apart was not to destroy him, but they have been spending the last 5 years taking him apart and rebuilding him,
right,
trying to turn him essentially into a weapon.
Yeah, we've got the blue Vision.
White Vision.
White. Well, he's bluish.
It was a blue light, but it's from the comics, and I'm not trying to be all like, white anything, because anyways.
Can't be too white these days.
Seriously. Coca-Cola
the new
funny? Vision.
You know what's funny is, so I'm gonna segue for just
I think that's a perfect.
Yeah. So I grew up a musician. Okay, I've been playing since I was like 9 years old. Okay. And so it was so funny to me seeing Coke essentially telling people to be less white.
Yeah.
For lack of, that's a very high level. Okay, so as a jazz musician in a small town,
right,
my band director was constantly telling us to play less white.
Okay.
And it didn't mean the same thing that Coke meant.
Right.
But to me, and it's something that stuck with me. It meant, like, don't be so stiff. Have some more, feel it more.
Right.
Read it less, feel it more.
Right.
And so to me, I was told to be less white so many times that this didn't even faze me. And I've also used that same phrase with working with other musicians, where I've told them, I was like, listen, you've got the notes,
right, but
it's just too white.
Right.
You gotta relax a little bit. And so like now I don't even know, can I say that anymore? Did we just get canceled? I don't know.
No, but it's just one of those things. It's a bold marketing strategy to just try to be just trying to be the cool soda pop in town. That's, to use the Beard thing of woke, whatever.
When being woke goes wrong,
so it's a bold strategy. And I was having this conversation because it's probably like you. It started up some conversations in your household. But it's one of those things of going, okay, you just can't tell people to be less whatever they are.
Right.
It's just kind of like shocking thing of going, okay, you're going to do that. But I was having a conversation with my kids, because my kids are very, understanding of everything going on right now. And, but we were talking about the Mr. Potato Head. So, okay. But it started a whole other conversation. I know, we're being good. We're staying on this side. Okay.
Nope.
Okay, but I'm so angry about it. Well, not angry about it, but I'm just like, there's so many other problems in the world.
100%.
There are millions.
Okay, so let me ask you this question.
We went from here, Mr. Potato Head should be at the end of the line.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
It is at the end of the line.
Okay, I'll ask this one question regarding that.
Okay.
Which of those problems is Hasbro going to
change the name of their company
to
Hasbro? Come on.
But listen. So here's the thing. There was a meme a while back, and it was that scene from what was it? Had Tom Hanks in it. You know, look at me. I'm the captain.
Oh yeah, Captain Phillips.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was that dude, but wearing a red hat with a certain slogan on it.
Gotcha.
And it said, "Look at me. I'm the snowflake now."
Right.
How fragile are you? So first of all, let's be 100% clear. Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head aren't going anywhere.
No.
So how fragile do you have to be offended by the fact that they're releasing a new toy simply called Potato Head?
No. From what is there's no longer a Mr. and Mrs.
Oh, there absolutely is.
But I think they changed it since
the first article I read about this was, to be clear, Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head aren't going anywhere.
Okay, see, I didn't know that. That's fine. Like, I could care less. That was actually my thought. I'm like, why don't they just come out with a third?
Let's say they didn't. Let's say that they just released a Potato Head, and it was essentially just the same toy, but you would just dress it however you choose to dress it.
100%.
If you want to put a mustache and a dress on the thing,
fantastic.
I probably did that as a child.
Right.
Okay? But how fragile do you have to be for this to make you offended?
100%.
And angry?
100%.
Like, quit being a little...
No, I agree. 100%.
Edited for content.
100%. And so it was just one of those things where I was like, I just don't know how we got here.
I don't either.
Like, I'm just looking around and I'm like, I just don't know how we got here. Where I'm having to have conversations with kids that they're fully, like, please believe that they're not upset by any means, but just confused. Like, we're making people confused by changing things that never affected anybody. No. Like, but I guess my thing is...
So with all the other important, that's the one argument you hear. Oh, there's more important problems to solve than this. Right. And that's correct.
Right.
However, how many of those can a toy company solve?
Agreed. I was just making a joke about the fact that their company name is Hasbro. That was like,
he has no female friends. He only has bros.
Only bros. That's messed up. So no, I 100% agree with you. It's a very small change. I was under the impression that it was just Potato Head.
No, there's that they were changing 3 products.
Great.
Yeah.
Have at it.
Show me on this
Potato Head where they hurt
androgynous potato where the internet hurt you.
Right. So it's not that big a deal. Like, I'm like, guess what? I will put money right now. Mattel's next. If you don't think that there's going to be...
Mattel been making thick Barbie for a while.
Good, which is good for...
Sure.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
But if you don't think that there will soon... It's already being... I guarantee you it's already being worked on, that there will be there's going to be Alex. The gender...
It's Pat.
Yeah. If you don't think that they're already working on it...
I'm sure.
It will be released soon. I guarantee you that there is going to be a gender-neutral Barbie doll.
And to me, it's stupid, but I don't care.
Right.
Because there will still be a Barbie doll. Exactly. And there will still be a Ken doll.
Well, that's my thing. I was halfway... I would be expecting that before Mr. Potato Head.
Right.
I just... In the realm of things.
Right.
That there be, there's going to be a gender-neutral Transformer. I don't know, tell me I'm wrong. G.I. Joe.
There's just so many places I could go with that last sentence that I'm not going to go.
I understand.
You see what you did there?
I see what I did.
What you did there.
But again, it would fall in line with...
These are the hard-hitting topics that our listeners tune in for.
Right. I'm just saying, before you get all the way down to preschool toys.
Right.
But again, I'm not losing any sleep.
Here's a fun fact, right? We now in this day and age typically associate the color blue with little boys and the color pink with little girls.
I know where you're going with this. I've known this for a while, though.
This was all because of a marketing ploy.
Yeah. I've known the gender of blue for quite some time. Like, so blue from Blue's Clues is essentially where you're going with this?
No. I'm saying going way back.
Gotcha. Yeah.
It was a marketing campaign that changed everything to the blue is for boys and pink is for girls.
Right.
It was one marketing campaign. It was another marketing campaign that got us what we feel like we think of a breakfast, right? And it's bacon and eggs, maybe some toast and some orange juice, right? That's all because of marketing. There was a company that needed to sell more bacon.
Yeah.
Because bacon was hard to sell at some point.
Right.
Must have been a dark day.
Yeah.
But
it was
regardless,
the Middle Ages.
and so they got a bunch of doctors basically to say, hey, would you recommend bacon and eggs for breakfast?
Yeah.
You know, they sent out letters to 10,000 doctors.
Right.
You know, and got the responses back, and sure enough,
Sounds
sure,
great.
there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
And so, you know, back to the old marketing where it's like 4 out of 5 doctors smoke Camel cigarettes. You know,
Right.
It's the same type of deal, but this one just happened to be for bacon and eggs.
Well, it changes the game on different things. I know I've probably bored you to death on certain because I've gotten into a series of these documentaries of food. The show is the food that made America.
Yeah.
And I was watching one the other night, and it was the candy companies. Dude, they were cutthroat.
Yeah, bro.
Cutthroat. But it was the dude that it was essentially Nestle, but the dude that made Baby Ruth, who he had some.
They played dirty back in the day, man.
Yeah, but
we can't play dirty like they played dirty.
He never
back
had
then.
Babe Ruth's permission.
Right.
Ever.
No.
He goes, he's popular right now.
I'm going to name a candy bar after
I'm going to name the candy bar. First of all, the candy bar, he was like, I'm going to take everything, which makes sense. He's like, I'm going to take everything from like these other candy bars that people like.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw it in one candy bar. See that sports star that's like
everybody likes
loves?
him? I'm going to name it kind of like him.
I'm going to change one letter.
Yeah.
And then sued Babe Ruth.
Attaboy.
Babe Ruth started his own candy bar. It was like the home run bar.
Okay.
Dude from Nestle sued Babe Ruth.
Attaboy.
And won.
Yeah.
He won against Babe Ruth because he changed
because the courts are
letter.
stupid.
And he said it was like, oh no, there was this president's baby Ruth that died.
Right.
Like, so he just BS'd it.
Yeah.
And came up with it. But it was just fascinating that he was just like, whatever. But they were like cutthroat. But he changed the marketing game.
That's one of my favorite things to watch every now and again is Adam Ruins Everything.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because it goes into so many things that we just accept as normal.
Right.
We accept as truth. That
but
you
sure
aren't.
back? No.
That
Well,
sure.
and
Like even diamonds especially.
Right.
Like diamonds are only valuable because of
Somebody somewhere. Yeah.
no, there's like one giant conglomerate company that owns most of the diamond mines.
Right.
So they control the supply.
Right.
And then they created the marketing, you know, the concept that, oh, you should spend 2 months' salary on a ring.
Right.
You know, that was them who they marketed that. They pushed that out and pushed it out and pushed it out. And then since they own all the supply,
Right.
they can control the supply.
Right.
And therefore they can set the price.
Right. Well, it was like these.
It's amazing.
No, and these candy bars, like it was during Prohibition, candy sales went up.
Right.
Because people couldn't do that. These people started naming their candy bars the mint julep,
Right.
the cherry cocktail, like drink names.
Right.
To like, but it was fascinating because the Nestle guy like was the first one when he came up with Butterfinger. Put it in a Shirley Temple movie. It was the first time that had ever been done where it was
Product placement.
in a movie. So he did it with Babe Ruth. where he like product placement and everything like that. And he did it with Butterfinger with Shirley Temple movie.
Yeah.
It's like all of a sudden she's eating a Butterfinger.
Hey, I'll pay you X number of dollars if you show this candy bar on camera.
Yeah, just crazy, man. Crazy.
Well, we've gone off the rails.
Do you see? I know.
We've gone off the rails.
What's the title of this one going to be? Wanda to Shirley Temple.
Yeah, we've
ended on Shirley
got everything
Temple.
from kidnappings to television shows and
Please, we got to name it something
gender
from
neutral
kidnapping-
potatoes.
From potatoes to Shirley Temple.
Everything in between. All right, that's going to do it for us. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Yes, thank you.
We appreciate you.
Thanks for hanging on and listening to our rants.
Incoherent ramblings.
There it is.
Until next time, he's Tucker.
Who's the beard?
And we are out.